This tutorial will step you through how to animate call data or call data records. So where you've got just too many records to be able to create a static map because you can't have that many labels, it's often more suitable to show an animation to show how that data moves over time. So this data here, there's a lot of it because it shows every time the phone moves to a different cell or tower, basically. So for this data, there's a date column and a time column. So we can use those dates and times to animate that data to show the movement. So we can see here there was movement, follows these sort of highways or freeways along here, but what's not obvious is which way they moved, where they started, when they moved. So this can help with that. So to create the animation, first go up to map and add to map a time series. Select your layer there. It's going to be a row filter, which means that when the data doesn't fall within that time span, it won't be visible. Select down to the time configuration. There's lots of options here. So if you've got a single date time column, you've got from and to date times, lots of different ways. This one, I've got a separate date and time columns. So I just have to select them. And so straight away it's picked up that this data extends from 1st of January 2022 from just after midnight, 12:00:38, to just before 2 a.m, 1:59 there. And this period of 1 day, I'm going to change that to 1 minute because there's quite a lot of data there. So each minute it's going to step through and show me which cell towers that phone was connecting to. Hit OK. So now all those points have disappeared except for this one up the top, and that's because it's currently showing 12 o'clock till 12:01 a.m. up there. If I hit play, it'll start to step through those minutes and start showing you the records which do fall with each one of those 1 minute spans, and eventually and start to see that movement of the phone records as it moves down. Now before making the video of this, there's a few things that can be set up. One is up here under the time menu. You've got map options, and you've got here format string, and it says little g, lowercase g. If you drop that down, you'll see there's a bunch of different options. The lowercase g says general time with a pattern with a short time. Short time means that it's dropping the seconds when it displays it. For phone data, I think we do want to show the seconds because they are important to show exactly when that occurred. So I generally go with the capital G version, which means it's got the long time. And also here, format type, just make sure that you can just have the start of it, but just make sure you're using the start and end, so you're showing that full span. The speed will play back at 1 second per frame, which is probably suitable. So now it is showing the time that it's covering, 12:24:38 to 12:25:38. So it's showing it in 1 minute, but because the original record started at 38 seconds past 12 o'clock, each minute therefore is. So instead I can come up here and click snap and snap it to the nearest minute. So now it's from 12:24:00 to 12:25:00. Now when I do that, one thing to note is that now it's not displaying the full span, which is a bit annoying. So back to this map options, and you see how it's changed that to only show the start. So make sure it shows the start and the end. Now you've got here up here, this is where you can change the span if you need to, or you can filter your data for a specific time period here. The other thing I like to add is a clock, a time value that shows what current time is being covered by that frame. So you can do that up under here, under add to map is this one, period title. choose a font. You can make it a bit bigger if you like, and bold. Okay, and okay. And then you can grab that. So you can grab that and move it down where it's out of the way, where no data sort of goes over the top of it. So then when you hit play, that time clock down the bottom will update to show what time period it's covering. So once you're happy with that, that it's showing you the data, it's showing you when it's covering, you can select to export. So you can give it whatever name you want, whatever location, the format. This is where if it's a basic map, PNG is probably suitable. If you're using an aerial photo, you might go with a JPEG. Include the map time slider if you want. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just have the times down the bottom here. 1 second between images is good. And down here, just make sure you're set to generate a video, and I'd suggest an MP4 video there. So we'll go through and export out all those as images and stitch them together as an MP4 file, which can then be provided to show how that call data record changes over time and how it moves. So once that's done, the MP4, so as well as all of the individual images, the MP4 is output, which I can open with a media player, and there's the MP4 video file, which shows the time down the bottom and the data as it falls within each one of those time spans there. So it's just that good way of being able to display that movement over time, especially when there's too many records, to be able to display on a static map, which happens pretty quickly.